This is Eivor of the Raven Clan, and you're listening to Raw Dogs.
You guys missed it right before you got here. Me and Dylan watched all of the sex scenes from God of War's 1 through Ascension.
Kratos a bit of a two-pump chump.
He does a lot of work, though, in 15 seconds.
Yeah, they seem pleased. And but I wonder how much, I mean, he's technically like paying them.
There's girls watching like, how does he do it? I'm like, he's been in there 5 seconds. Hey, everybody, and welcome to Raw Dogs, part of Hair the Dogcast, part of the HyperX Podcast Network. Nate, feel free to eat your Big Mac, but if you do, I can mute you over here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, all you have to do is aim away from the mic.
And then I'll just send the audio of you eating to Tom, because that is a major trigger for him.
That is for me as well.
Yes.
I am not a fan of listening to people chew on mic. It's what do they call it? Misophonia? Something like that.
It sounds like poopy. Yes.
You could have said any word. I would have believed you.
Yeah.
So I'm in.
I'll make something up then. Yes. Misophonia.
You are phonia.
Yeah, thank you.
The Raw Dogs are proud members of the HyperX Podcast Network. For more information, check out podcast.hyperx.com. And I am unemployed today. Only for one day. Today is my unemployed day.
Mm-hmm. Congratulations.
Thank you. We had fun last night.
Oh, yeah.
Celebrations were had.
Absolutely.
I don't go out late, and I don't go out to Finks, and it was a lot of fun.
I mean, Finks is great.
Yeah, you're not, and it's almost a farewell for you there as well, since you're going to be moving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I moved the majority of my stuff today, so tonight will be my first night in the new place. Mm-hmm. So that's going to be exciting, but I'll miss Finks.
My name is Brad.
My name is Tyler.
My name's Dylan.
I'm Nate.
And that's Nate.
I'm Nate.
Raw Dogs, we do deep dives, we talk about shit, and this is the God of War series is our topic today, and this is a game series that I've wanted to talk about for a while. I played through 2018 not terribly long ago for the first time, and it brought a lot of feelings back about Kratos that I hadn't thought about in a long time, and I thought he was a very important character in video games to discuss, and someone who might not have aged gracefully. It's like when you see a video of you in college and you're like, oh God, I do not like what I used to be.
I still don't like what I am.
Yeah. I see a video from me last night. I'm like, good Lord. Yeah. My experience with the God of War series, I played through 1, 2, and 3. I don't believe I touched Ascension. Didn't play the handhelds. Definitely didn't play the mobile. And I played through 2018 myself, and I loved every second of it when I did. How about you, Tyler?
I played the first 3 a long time ago when I was younger, and then I played 2018 twice. I beat it twice, and that is by far one of my favorite games of all time.
Twice?
Really?
Yeah, I beat it once for the story, and then knowing that we were having this podcast, I went back and beat it again, but I did it on hard this time. And that was
hard
quite
mode.
the achievement because it was really,
Yikes.
really difficult.
That is intense. And
Yeah.
you did like everything.
I got a couple Valkyries left, but yeah, other than that, I did just about everything.
Man,
Still working on that platinum, though.
I hear it's a difficult one.
Is it? Yeah, pretty difficult to get a platinum in that?
I mean, if you're playing on like the normal difficulty, I don't think it's that bad. You just got to beat everything and find everything.
Yeah.
So it's like time consuming. But
Yeah, there's definitely too many collectibles in that one.
fucking Odin's Ravens that just take forever to find.
They're not fun. They're not rewarding.
No. Well, it is kind of rewarding when you hit it with the axe because you got to throw the axe at the majority of them.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Stopping gameplay to look at a raven and try and throw an axe 20 times is shit to me.
Yeah.
But it's like, got it.
But it also sucks because like the game is so beautiful, like the environment is great, and it's just pleasant to look at. But you spend 97% of your time looking up at the sky, like where the fuck is a raven? I know there's got to be one in here somewhere.
Oh yeah. Dylan, how about you?
I played the first three. I remember very vividly on a friend's PlayStation 2 playing the first one and not having a good opinion of it.
Even back then.
Even back then, I was just like, I see what people are getting from this, but it was like 2005, and I was just like, there are better video games, man. I didn't like Kratos. I thought he was so dumb.
He's such a Chad.
God,
He goes from Chad to Dad.
But then I gave it a second shot. There was an HD collection of 1 and 2 for the PlayStation 3, and then I got 3 when that came out, and I think 3 is really my favorite one. I think it's the most interesting story wise. I have decent opinions on this, but I never got around to God of War 2018 because I don't know. I think I fell off, or I didn't care, or I saw the hype around it and I was just trying to be too cool for school. Maybe I actually don't know. I think that's around the time I actually sold my PlayStation 4 though too. So I might not have even had the chance to do it. And maybe I just didn't want to be a part of the zeitgeist.
Yeah, that was one that I just kind of had on the back burner. I'm like, I'll play it eventually, and then it was for free available when I got my PS5 with like the PS Plus.
Oh yeah,
part of that, the PS Plus collection. And it said, yeah, now's the time. Mm-hmm. And Nate, besides kind of looking like Kratos.
Oh, flattering.
No, you have ashy white skin.
Fair enough. And a scraggly beard, I suppose.
Which is the ashes of your dead wife.
Yeah.
And child.
Yep.
Yeah, he's an angry guy. My experience is back in the day when they released, I think, the H1 and 2 HD edition, I jumped through them as well. I think that was PlayStation 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then jumped into 3. I was in the same boat as you, less about it because of the linear playstyle. Like, it was cool, you feel like a badass, but the very, very linear playstyle and everything kind of left something to be desired. And then never got into God of War because kind of fallen off the ladder on good games. I mean, I'm still playing games from 2019 that are recommended and stuff. So I'm just behind the curve on all that. So I'll get to God of War eventually, but it isn't now.
I think I absorbed a lot of that game through osmosis. I don't know if 2018 was that big of a year for video games. If I think back to it, I think 2017 was huge. And then 2018 was kind of like, well, we're just kind of biding our time until these new systems decide to come out. So I don't know. Like, I don't know why I didn't give this a chance, like a proper, I don't know.
Well, let's go back in time 17 years. Yes.
Don't like me then.
It's weird saying 17 years, and I'm like, oh, that's like half my life ago.
I want to gut check that little bastard.
God of War, developed by Santa Monica Studios, designed and directed by David Jaffe, who also designed Mickey Mania, Twisted Metal's 1, 2, Black, and Twisted Metal 2012, Kinetica, Calling All Cars, and Drawn to Death. Not sure why David Jaffe wanted to leave after the first God of War, because he directed the first one, was still involved in the second, but didn't direct it, and then he has largely been uninvolved with the series for a while. This game began in 2002 under the working title Dark Odyssey. When it was revealed, it was described as a merging of Devil May Cry's combat with Ico's puzzle solving. Generous?
That's very generous. That's extremely generous.
Yeah, I mean, that is a core aspect of these games, whether or not the puzzles are well designed.
I don't believe so.
There is an interconnectedness to some of the level designs that I find very cool. Like, you'll do a huge side thing, and then like part of the temple will like move into another place, and you realize you've been like kind of moving machinations around. And but to say it's like Ico mixed with the Devil May Cry, it's like, it's a bad sex mini game with a lot of button mashing.
It is a hack and slash above everything. To categorize Devil May Cry as a hack and slash is completely disingenuous.
I've never played a Devil May Cry.
Well, it's a character action game. It's like a platinum game. It's like I would never call Bayonetta a hack and slash. This is definitely a hack and slash, though. Like, there are only so many combos you can do with Kratos. So
yeah,
it's not like there's this in-depth like fighting system, which you can do in Devil May Cry if you get the right amount of like stuff going with the action. This is definitely just like a 4 combo kind of straight up. It's mostly crowd management. It's mostly like, because you have that isometric view and it's very staged. It's all about set pieces. It's all about stuff like that. It's very much one of those. It's so of its time, is how I would describe it.
Absolutely of its time. I remember playing these games and loving them, but I went and played some of God of War 3 the other day, and it's like, wow, this combat is very simple. And you could get away with doing almost just like X
Yeah.
for the entire game if you wanted to.
Oh, you could definitely get through the entire game doing that.
There is other nuances, but enemies, whoosh, 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 whoosh,
Well, this is
rinse and repeat.
This is also the start of what I would describe as the era of quick time events and egregious long cinematic quick time events.
The quick time events, though, are one of the coolest parts of the God of War trilogy.
I cannot handle quick time events. I've never once liked quick time events.
See, yeah, and I think you either love it or hate it. I don't think there's really any in between.
I don't know.
Like
Yeah,
them.
I don't know anyone who's like, yeah, quick time events.
They don't bother me.
Yeah.
These in God of War work because they're entertaining. And the way Kratos will like jump around on an ogre and then rip its eye out, like,
Sure.
that's cool.
Yeah.
And he's often doing something that's like the scale and scope of climbing a god. And there are certain things that would be hard to convey in combat that I think there is opportunities. But like, would you rather those just be a cutscene?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess there's like a visceralness to it. I don't have a problem increasing interactivity. I just don't think it's when the only skill you're being tested on is whether or not you can press a button in time.
It's like Bop It.
I hate it. I don't need Simon Says in my video games.
Yeah, I don't mind them. I'm terrible at them because I don't pay enough attention. I struggle.
There's nothing worse than like a QTE comes out of nowhere. You're like, oh shit, I put the controller down under. Like I wasn't paying attention.
That's the worst.
Hit the wrong button.
Yeah, I've always struggled with that. I like, oh yeah, so something else is happening and I don't have to be directly involved for 5 seconds. Well, I'm gonna drift away because that's the way I work. And then, oh god, I missed the button. Yep. Gotta do it again.
You feel like a shithead too, because like Kratos doing something awesome, and then you failed to press square in time, and then failed it, and then you feel like a chump.
Yeah.
I feel like he's judging you a little,
Like,
maybe.
damn it, I let you down. I'm sorry.
Calls you a boy.
Yeah.
Kratos is a pretty strong character design. He's like a unique creation as far as Greek mythology goes. These are all based in Greek mythology.
Yeah.
And there is a character named Kratos, which has almost no story in real Greek mythology. So they went like real fast and loose with it. But overall, I think Kratos is a pretty cool character, though, of its time, for sure, of his time, because he is the edgiest edgelord. He has one emotion, and he screams, and he's like physical anger. Like this dude would have a lot of issues with the cancel culture today.
Oh yeah. Why can't I say it?
If the Punisher, the show, was a video game, it would be God of War.
Yeah.
Like 100% just.
Yeah, I think he's a strong character design, but I also think at the same time it's also a pretty dumb one.
I'm just strictly how he looks. What do you think?
Yeah, I think like he's so indicative of what people would describe as like masculine back then.
Oh,
you know?
shirt off, just fucking ripped, dude.
Yeah.
Tribal tattoos.
I think what pulls him together mostly is his weapons, and
He has a lot of sex.
yeah,
Really is the ultimate Chad.
this is everyone just like lives in this like psychotic world where like Greek myth is like real, and like there's harpies killing all their friends, but they're mostly just concerned with fucking at the end of the day. It's just like he'll stroll into a brothel after fighting like a cyclops, and it'll be like, yeah, we're not worried about the cyclopses outside, let's fuck. It's just like, why? No,
The city is burning. I have time for a 4-way.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh yeah.
You always have time for a 4-way. Let's be honest here.
Okay, we'll do this. Yeah. Especially, he's like, I got 20 seconds. Don't worry. You'll all be extremely impressed.
Yeah.
And then they're like, move your thumbstick around once. And they're like, oh my God.
Wow. Yeah.
Tap square a bunch. And yeah, we were watching it. It's always funny because when Kratos does start having sex, they pan off. And in God of War 2, they just pan off to like a little boy statue peeing, and the peeing will change, and at the end it just like explodes.
Yeah. Or like
very classy.
It'll be a girl who's straddling a candle, and then the wax will drip onto her. Yeah, it's like, yeah.
I think the first one in the first game, it pans to the bedside table, right?
Yeah,
and as you
and
press
then
the buttons, the table rocks faster and harder.
What's crazy is that Kratos is just jackhammering these women. Like that cannot be pleasurable. It's just like that. I don't know.
And the blades of chaos are attached to him. Like,
Yeah,
right?
They're like what? They're through his like shoulder blades, technically.
They're wrapped around.
Oh, right.
I also thought that he had the same problem that Mr. T has, where his orgasm would leave like an exit wound, because he is like a god, right? So
Mr. T?
yeah, you've never heard that Mr. T joke?
No.
You know, there's Chuck Norris jokes, right? Like everybody's heard the Chuck Norris jokes. Well,
Yeah.
somebody made a book of Mr. T jokes, and Mr. T's
He comes like a god?
well, it's Mr. T's orgasm is so powerful it has an exit wound. Is one of them.
Okay.
That is disturbing to think about.
Yeah, and it's the first thing I thought about when I thought about Kratos having sex.
Oh, I don't think being a god automatically gives you like hyper bullet sperm.
But Greek mythology is hyper horny. I remember as a kid, one's like, Zeus pretended he was a goat and fucked a woman. I'm like, whoa. I'm in third grade and I just covered the book up.
Yeah, that's very popular in Greek mythology. Everybody's out there, and Zeus being the biggest culprit. I'm pretty sure that's where most of the gods and demigods came from, was Zeus just getting out there.
What's really weird about this game is how like hypersexual it is and kind of like rooted in that. But then they kind of avoid like the actual strangeness of the gods' relationships.
Oh, yeah.
Like how it's all pretty much incest.
That's something you won't get in games. Hades is like a horny game too, and they'll never mention like,
no.
oh yeah, they're all family that are fucking.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's just like, well, why avoid that then? Like, I guess people would be in an uproar about it, but how much of an uproar can you get when you can literally rent a book about mythology from the library and it's going to tell you the exact same shit?
Yeah.
Like,
And Zeus was a goat and had sex with a woman. I'm like, whoa.
well, Aphrodite, we watched that cutscene where you have sex with Aphrodite from 3.
It's interesting
And
watching the
she's
boob
talking about her husband, and I'm like, yeah, he's also your brother, dog.
and also Hephaestus is in the game. Voiced by Rip Torn is one thing. Another thing, though, he's like a monstrously huge dude. I'm like, that's got to be weird sex too.
I think it's all. I don't know how much they have sex. I mean, I know they have children with each other.
They're
but-
estranged for sure, but
Yeah.
It's funny. God of War is just like such a male power fantasy.
Yeah.
Watching the making of the game, the original one, because there's really great making ofs for all these games, but one of them, I think you should play God of War because it'll get you laid. That's one of the like people on the development team, and that made it into the making of. And it's like, that's 2005, you know?
I think they nailed their goal. I think they fell short on what they actually wanted to design, but their like underlying model is just over the top. Like, we want over the top masculine, crazy fighting and like ripping eyes out and like all that stuff. It's like they nailed it as far as just over the top gameplay goes. And there was early ages of video games, right? Like
PlayStation 2.
Yeah, so it's pretty early. PlayStation 2 being pretty, I don't know how I feel about PS2 now that I think about it. But anyways,
we had an whole episode about it. We had very favorable views of the PlayStation 2.
Yeah. This game very much feels like a PlayStation 2 game, though, it's still a pretty straightforward hack and slash, but they've upped the scope with, I think, like some of the camera work. It can be wonky, but there are points where the camera draws way back and it just shows like you climbing Kronos' back or something. I'm like, this is huge. And I definitely remember being blown away, and just the opening boss of the very first game, you're fighting that like Hydra.
Yeah.
Big old monster, and you're like climbing around a ship. You go to another side and you fight a little bit over here. And I like it when they take a boss and they make it into a little bit of a puzzle as well. You're actually inside like a giant Colossus thing in one of them, and you're inside like fucking up its innards.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, and they do a lot of things very well, but it definitely feels like a PlayStation 2 era game.
A lot of the problems end up being platforming. I remember in the first one, there is a lot of kind of like what I would call like situations where there are a lot of opportunities to dead drop off of something, and it's not a precise jumping. mechanic, if I remember correctly. I have a very specific memory of the first one. You're in this giant like labyrinth, and you have to climb something in the middle. And if you get hit by the fire that's moving across, you fall all the way fucking down.
Yeah.
And I remember almost quitting. I was just like, I'm not doing this anymore. It's not
worth it.
pleasurable anyway. So like, why am I doing this? I think too, obviously.
But then you heard there was those ladies waiting up ahead past the fire thing. Like, I'll try a few more times.
I'll stick it out.
Yes, I'm like,
I was
man.
I was like 16, 17 at the time.
That's what they call reward.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've all been there, you know?
It's funny. The day this episode comes out will be one day after its 17-year anniversary. This game came out March 22nd, 2005 for the PlayStation 2. And we've talked about Kratos' design, but the Blades of Chaos are one of the most iconic weapons, I think, in games.
Yeah.
Like, you know what those are. Like, you see those, and that means something. I think Blades of Chaos are pretty cool.
Oh, absolutely. And, well, I guess in 2018, the Leviathan axe is cool and all. But I had very like vague memories from the first three because I had maybe only played them once before I played the 2018.
Yeah.
And even I still knew like, okay, this is a big deal in 2018 when you dust those bad boys off.
Yeah, although you probably wouldn't have the Blades of Chaos there if you follow the storyline. I think he should be wielding like the Blades of Artemis or something at that point. I think he loses the Blades of Chaos after the first game, and he doesn't use them chronologically afterwards at all. Mm-hmm. But maybe he would have access to them after he becomes God of War. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there are spoilers within this, but like I would imagine that Artemis gave a blessing to the blades, and that's why they became the way they were.
They're separate blades, actually.
Oh, are they?
They are separate blades. Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Yeah, I did not know that.
But he might have found the original ones again. I don't know. Maybe he stored them away because I mean he leaves basically ancient Greece in complete destruction at the end of 3. Like he does cause the end of the world.
Yeah, all of Greek mythology is destroyed.
Yeah.
The entire concept of just him slaughtering all the gods because he's an angry little child.
Yeah.
He is an angry little child.
He's like Eminem if he was in a video game. Just mad at everything.
Eminem is a little more eloquent than Kratos, though.
Yeah, which is
Kratos doesn't need to say anything.
Yeah, really?
I'm actually kind of surprised that Eminem didn't do like a song at the end in the credits.
I could see that.
That'd be really interesting.
I could see also just like Korn or something.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh,
That would have
gross.
been very cool at the time.
Yeah, some Limp Bizkit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need 2 bases. I think Korn would have been the right choice.
5-finger death punch or something.
Even just
Oh,
6
five-
feet,
yep.
6 feet from the edge, and it's like Kratos just like on the cliffside, just like sad, just screaming.
They hire Chester Bennington to make like a God of War song.
And the music video is him dressed up as Kratos.
The entire time he's just screaming.
It would definitely work. I'd watch it.
It just feels appropriate, and it's also I think like the cool thing about this series is that it kind of shows you exactly like the arc and scope of how video games evolved pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Because even within the span of like 10 years, from going from God of War 3 to God of War 2018, these are like completely different ways of looking at video games, and it's almost as if it like got a little more mature and grew up. Like, because that's the one thing you get from this newer one, from what I've absorbed through osmosis. I never played it, is that it's just clearly a game that has a lot more going on behind the surface, especially in storytelling and like character motivations.
Honestly, the God of War series didn't do a lot of evolving until 2018. God of War 2 and 3, great games, cool additions to the story, but it's just the same game. It's more combat, it's more QTEs, the boob physics have slightly improved, the nipples move on the later ones.
That was important. They made sure to get that done.
Yes, and I mean, God of War Ascension was a huge flop. They wanted it to be big, but
It's
problematic after you've already destroyed the world and you want to make another game like, oh, it's prequel Kratos, and it's not a number. Anytime you have a non-numbered game, people are just less interested by default. Like, oh, what is it? Ascension? I don't want to play it.
Well, you don't have any of
God of War
power fantasies?
Erection would have been a better name.
Well, you don't have any of the power
that.
fantasy
I would've-
that
I would've
you
watched
ended up
it.
with at the end of 3. Like you had 4 weapons in 3, right?
Yeah, you get gauntlets and blades, and I mean, I really like the
scythe.
gauntlets because you have like you just like wear them on your hands,
lions?
like big lion gauntlets. Yeah,
I
they
like
look pretty
those.
cool.
Yeah, those are really dope.
Nate, why is Kratos so angry?
You know, we've all been there in our life. When somebody murders our family and just covers yourself in their ashes, just natural life stuff.
He murdered his family too. Kratos murders his own family.
Yeah, I don't know about how
We've
much
all been there.
Well, it's like a play on Hercules.
Nate,
right?
what aren't you
Like,
telling us?
I used to have a family.
Used to.
Yeah, I'm not as mad about it though. I'm not a psycho. It was just a joke. I don't know. It's this classic Greek tragedy kind of thing. Like,
If you want to call it that, yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's
I understand where you're coming from.
yeah, like it feels like Hercules, but it's not. And then he just gets really mad about it instead of being a good guy like Hercules and like atoning with his trials.
Oh.
He's like, I'm just gonna go nuts.
Yeah, if we're talking about Disney Hercules, sure. Have you ever like really gotten into like the myths of back then? Most characters were not heroic. They were all kind of just assholes.
Oh,
Out for their own thing for sure.
Yeah.
the original Hercules, yeah, being pretty selfish about it, but I'm pretty sure he like murdered his wife with his bare hands, but in a fit of rage from Zeus or something. And then
Maybe,
he did
yeah.
his trials because he was going to get
Yeah, I think you're right. That is starting to track now.
yeah,
Yeah.
he was super strong and just kind of like crumpled his wife into a meatball.
Well, Hercules thought he was having sex with a goat. Turns out it was his dad the whole time.
Yeah, it probably happened. Zeus was everywhere.
Zeus!
And every kind of animal too. Pretty sure he was an eagle and
Swan.
something else.
He was a swan
So-
at one point.
So
yeah.
Kratos was a general in an army. He was supposedly just a mortal. We find out lately that he wasn't just mortal, but he is losing a battle with the barbarian king, and he screams out to the god of war Ares, and he sells his soul into service for Ares helping him win the fight. And so that's when he gets the Blades of Chaos, kills the barbarian king. Ares, though, now that he has a servant, wants Kratos to be the ultimate badass. He's like, I think if you kill his family, he'd be so much more badass. Palpatine and Vader almost. Like, you have to go through that suffering, you'll be a better warrior. And turns out Kratos didn't like killing his own family. And yeah, so then he renounces Ares and says he's going to get revenge. I love it when anyone also tries to reason with Kratos. He's like, no, you. He's just ultimate Chad. Doesn't
Yeah, it's so straightforward.
well,
Chad of war.
chat of war. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. I lost my train of thought thinking about that.
It's just so true, right? Like it's the revenge machismo fantasy that was just like
Well, it's all the one thing that really kind of is funny about it then too is that it's really just his fucking fault. It's like the gods are the gods, and he's like, you made me kill them, and I'm like, take some personal responsibility. You fucking
Maybe if you didn't
idiot.
just destroy an entire village, you wouldn't have accidentally murdered him.
Yeah, it's just like,
Well, if it's not the consequences of my own actions.
It's like a be careful what you fucking wish for thing. And then it's very funny that even at the end of that game and going into 2, how quickly Zeus is just like, you're a little too big for your britches. Here, fight the Colossus of Rhodes. We're done with you.
Well,
I'm like, okay.
One of the reasons God of War 2 and 3, the story goes the way it is because in this one, in order to kill Ares, Kratos is told the only way to kill a god is if you open Pandora's box to attain the power of a god. And when he opens Pandora's box, not only does he become like Rita Repulsa in Power Rangers and just turn into a big guy to fight the Megazord, he also unleashes like evil, and the gods become like infected with the evils of Pandora. And he also attains the power of hope, which is a plot point in God of War 3. It's like, you have hope inside of you, Kratos. And he's like, ew.
real emotions. This is horrible. I only know
The
rage.
power of hope. That game does not end on a good note. There's nothing hopeful about what happens to him after that game.
God of War 3, dude tries to kill himself after he destroys the world. He's like, that way hope can stay with the mortals.
After killing his father,
Yeah.
who's Zeus.
He's a pretty bad dad, though.
He's a
Well-
really fucking bad dad.
Yeah. We'll talk about that a little bit later. I am always, though, like, I've been a fan of Greek mythology. I always enjoy, like, Poseidon, Hades, Hermes, like, these names I've known since I was a kid. And as someone who was raised in a religion, I'm like, dang, this religion was way cooler, dude.
Hands down. Hands down, way cooler.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there
Like,
are some...
John the Baptist didn't have 12 trials where he fought a lion. Maybe he fought a lion, though. I forget.
No, that's Daniel.
Okay. Well, interesting story. David Jaffe, the guy who wrote the original God of War, he wanted it to end with Christianity.
Oh, boy.
Wow.
David Jaffe's cut plot of God of War 3. You kill Zeus in the opening, and a portal opens up where the Egyptian and Norse gods descend on Olympus.
Jesus Christ.
Kratos learns the way to permanently kill a god is to get mortals to stop believing in them. Ending would have Kratos slit his wrists and be reunited with his family. And then we would see 3 wise men heading to the North Star, where Christianity is born.
Get the fuck out of it.
That's where David Jaffe wanted to end God of War 3. It's like, Jesus.
I mean, honestly, that's the M. Night Shyamalan twist if I've ever heard one, because I did not see Jesus coming in the third one.
I'd watch Kratos fight Jesus. I'd play that. Just saying, I'd totally play that.
I mean,
we have no other
cool.
mythologies to go to, guys. We have Christianity.
Well, it's pretty funny, actually. Like, talking about character action games like this, like Bayonetta is all about basically killing angels, and it's very good. And the angels have like literal interpretations. They're like wheels of fire, and they're all this other stuff. There's something rich there, but it doesn't get tapped very often.
Yeah, like, well, Dante's Inferno, another hack and slash that I loved, is got that whole, I mean,
That one is such an interesting time. Like, that is...
Yeah. When did that came out? Probably...
2008 or 2009.
I think it was after 3 came out, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I think
it was on the 360, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. Dante's Inferno.
That's a game I could see you having a boss battle with Jesus, more so than God of War 3. I can't believe he was going to have the wise men at the end of that. That blows my mind.
I want it to be like the Jesus in South Park, though, where he's like, I'm packing, and he just like a gun pops out of his robe and a knife, and he starts...
It actually came out right around the same exact time.
Okay, yeah.
2010.
I think it was like a flip of the coin for me, which one I was going to rent at Family Video, and I think that's why I didn't really get my hands on 3 until the remaster came out.
Yeah.
When I imagine him fighting Jesus, I imagine Buddy Jesus from Dogma. The one
Buddy
thumb up
Christ.
to the point, like
Buddy
Buddy
Christ.
Christ. Yeah, my bad. That's what I imagine. And then just like him being the exact opposite of Kratos. Kratos just being pissed and only knowing rage, and then Buddy Jesus or Buddy Christ just being, you should be happy. You got hope.
So you have the Blades of Chaos. You also use the Blade of Artemis, which is just a large sword. You do get some magical attacks in the first game. Zeus's Fury, where you can throw lightning bolts. My favorite, though, is Medusa's Gaze. After you rip off Medusa's head, you just you have a head on your person.
On your belt, yeah.
And then you just pull it out and just like make it like turn things to stone. And I always thought that was very cool. And that became a running thing in the game where you always will have a head attached to your body. It's not until the latest one where it starts talking with you.
Yeah, Mimir's the goat.
Mimir is the goat.
Yeah, not to be confused with Zeus's goat, though.
Important distinction.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I guess one thing, so I didn't play the most recent God of War, how do they port or switch into the Norse mythology?
It's funny because I was just watching a making of, but someone's like, what's Kratos gonna do? Just take a backpack and walk over there?
Yeah.
And
quite literally.
Corey Barlog is like, yeah, that's good. He just walks over there.
It's
a just different region.
It's just a different it's a different area with different gods. And I don't think you're supposed to think that hard about it because from what I understand about this game, it can kind of be played on its own. You don't technically have, it's a reboot. It's a soft reboot is what they call it. Like, it's technically a sequel, but it's also not. You can just play this in a vacuum if you wanted to as well.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
So that's maybe the part that I find the most intriguing about it is that they actually really were just like, let's reinvent this damn thing. And I would argue that based on what I've seen, it's more successful than say like Star Wars, where it's just like, well, it's a Death Star, but it's a planet.
Well, yeah, the way that they can integrate and honor the events of the past. So people that do want the through line of, I want to be the character that fucked 40 women in the original series, and also in Norse mythology now. And if you can rectify those stories, it's there if you want it, and it's in the background if you don't.
Yeah.
Which, I think it's pretty masterful how they balance that.
Yeah, they did a great job of rebooting it, like where you can play it in a vacuum if you've never played the first ones, but then still being that same good old Kratos that had sex with half of Greece.
Yeah.
Well, now he's a sad family man again.
No sex.
So he could realistically just walk to Africa and we could have the Egyptian mythology.
I
wouldn't
think
count that out.
Well, no, I think long term what's going to happen is Kratos will kill all the gods, and that's why we have the world we have today. Because
I've got a bold prediction. I think that Kratos is dead in Ragnarok. Kratos is going to die.
let's not talk about Ragnarok yet. We'll save that stuff for later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Isn't that intrinsically in the name? Never mind. Moving on.
Yeah.
Well,
Some of the Greek gods you kill in God of War 1, you fight a Hydra, you fight Medusa. There's actually not a lot of boss battles in this. That and
there aren't.
Pandora's Guardian, an undead Minotaur, and Ares are the only boss battles in this. You spend the majority of the game in the Temple of Pandora trying to get the box, which is chained to the back of the Titan Kronos, who crawls through the desert. Very cool set pieces. Like, that's all really cool. These games also do have very fun costumes. I don't think a lot of people remember this, but if you want to do the end game, you can unlock cool things like Chef of War, where the blades are replaced with skillets.
that's not bad.
One of the costumes is called Bubbles. You have snorkeling gear and you wield fish that you hit with.
Okay.
I can get behind that.
Did you want to kill the gods as Scuba Steve? We got you.
Yeah, right? Every fantasy exists for Chad.
There is Tycoonius, where you wear a business suit and wield briefcases.
What?
Dairy Bastard is a cow suit. I like Dairy Bastard.
Dairy Bastard is funny.
And then you have the Ares armor. You have to do like all of the end game stuff though to get all of this. But at the end of this game, Kratos has killed Ares. Ares believes to have the upper hand. You get Pandora's box back from him, and he takes his blades of chaos back. And you notice a bridge you were on earlier as a little guy, and it's actually a giant sword. So you take the bridge, and it's a sword. And later on in God of War 2, you actually fight on that sword, which is great because you time travel. Maybe that's in.
Oh, I fucking forgot about the time traveling.
There is some time travel, and it's luckily not too much Back to the Future, but I'm sure you banged someone's mom at that point.
You're your own grandpa.
Yeah. And yeah, at the end, Kratos becomes the god of war, and he's sitting on the throne. And I think they kind of wrap this up very much like, this could be the end. There's no need for another one. Mm-hmm. And release of this game sold more than 4.6 million copies worldwide, making this the 14th best-selling PlayStation 2 game of all time. And right away, an adaptation was announced. Going to be a movie. I can't imagine 2005 who they would have cast. It's easier to cast today in my mind, but
They would have done like a young Channing Tatum or something.
Channing Tatum wasn't even that big in 2005, though.
No, but they would have gotten someone who's relatively unknown because Kratos does not have the look of like a...
Dude, Stone Cold Steve Austin, dude.
Oh, God.
2005 Stone Cold would have been pretty good, maybe.
All right, hear me out. Howie Mandel.
Ares. Yeah, Howie Mandel.
Yeah, Deal or No Deal guy, right?
Let's just...
What's his name?
Let's do Guy Fieri, dude.
There you go.
No, Guy Fieri is Hades.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Welcome to Flavor Town.
Oh, man, who was in 2005? Oh, I gotta find out.
Yeah. Look up biggest top 10 actors of 2005. Let's see who we got for Kratos.
Yeah.
But yes, 2005, a script was completed. They were looking for a director. 2008, Brett Ratner said he would direct the film. In 2010, the revealed script was sent to Daniel Craig, who turned it down. 2012, new writers had been hired, and 2022, allegedly, it's happening. This is going to be very different than the script from back then, but
Is it a movie or a TV show? Because it's Amazon, right?
I believe it'll be a series. But
Yeah.
God. Do we need a whole series about this?
we need a series about everything because they have money and they're bored.
They just can't figure out how to make an original idea.
Yep.
I hate it. I'm just like, oh yeah, Uncharted. Now that's a movie. Apparently it did really well though. So
Who do you got?
All right, so I got the top 20 male actors of 2005.
all right, let's do this.
Top of the list, we got Brad Pitt, Johnny Depp.
No.
Tom Hanks could hack it.
Tom
We all
Hanks
know
is
that.
Can you imagine Johnny Depp doing his like Pirates of the Caribbean shtick with Kratos?
Oh, imagine
like,
Tim Burton directing God of War.
Oh, my
my
god,
God.
that'd actually be pretty funny. I'd watch that.
The action would suck, but everything else would be funny.
Yeah, right. And then more legitimate would be like Leonardo DiCaprio probably won't take the role, I guess.
He does only act through yelling, so that's good for him.
Yeah. Tom Cruise.
No,
I was thinking Tom Cruise has probably got to be pretty high on that list.
Tom Cruise is Hermes, maybe.
The Rock. Why are we not thinking like The Rock?
The Rock would work.
I think, yeah.
Because you said that as a joke the
I
other
said
day.
that as a joke the other day.
But he wasn't
He
he's
wasn't
still
as
wrestling,
big.
right?
No, he was on and off wrestling, but he
He was known for eyebrows and what the Rock was
in a lot
cooking
of,
back
He was
then.
in a lot of B movies
Elbows.
at the time.
Yeah,
Like, a lot
This was
of,
like the age of the Scorpion King.
Yeah,
Yeah,
The
this is
Mummy
like-
2
was
was
in-
his first where they had the
Yeah.
horrible CGI
Yep.
Scorpion
Man, that was
King.
bad.
Yeah.
Mummy 2
Samuel
released.
Samuel's a possibility. He could
No,
Kratos.
no, not at this point.
I've had it with these motherfucking gods on this motherfucking mountain.
Yeah.
You fucked a goat?
What? Say what again?
Say Aries again, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Goat again.
Ed Harris.
No.
No.
Was he
He's-
old then?
Yes, he's old.
He was old when he was young.
Ed Harris? What are you, my grandpa?
Oh yeah, I suppose he was 50 then. But Kratos looks kind of old. No, he looks old in the last one.
Mummy 2 came out 2001. Scorpion King came out 2002. Just for reference.
Doom was 2005.
That sounds
Oh,
right.
yeah, I saw
So this
Doom.
could have been like a stunt cast to make him making him Kratos, but he had a rule at this point that he only wanted to play good guys. And like that's been the prevailing thing. Like my character can't have this or this happen to him, or
He also has a clause in his contract where he's not allowed to lose a fight, or he had it at one point
Yeah.
because
him,
in
him and Vin
the
have
Rock.
that.
You know, that's a problem with like, I don't know, Freddy versus
Vin
Jason. It's like,
Diesel.
well, no
Yeah.
one can win.
He would have. It would have been Vin Diesel.
Ew.
It would have been Vin Diesel, and that's what I'm sticking with. I think honestly,
It would have been.
It would have been Vin
It would
Diesel.
have.
yes.
Other options would have
I
been.
still vote Tom Hanks though.
I would have. Yeah.
Kratos on a piano, like dancing.
I think, yeah, no, it would have been.
Aries smell like peas and carrots.
I am Kratos now.
Yo, imagine Tom Hanks dressed as Kratos on a bench, and then I climbed the back of Kronos all the way to the box.
And the woman is just like sweating, just staring forward.
And I do think that goat was my dad.
These blades are attached to my wrists.
Life is like a box of Pandora. You never-
Oh man, yeah, we nailed it. So Tyler, get on this movie idea.
I'll start the script tomorrow.
We need
Dude.
Tom Hanks.
Kratos on a bench narrating the entire events and how ridiculous they are. And then I was a mobile game. I ripped that Medusa's head right off and just pointed it right at that bastard. That's really funny.
You could have him telling the story sitting on the bench, and then all the flashbacks, it's played by Vin Diesel. Still voiced by Tom Hanks.
Ares. Yeah, God of War 1, though, raging success, other endgame content. There was the Challenge of the Gods if you wanted to play more, 10 trials to unlock more costumes, and behind-the-scenes video and concept art, which I think more games should do. Behind-the-scenes videos included on games is very cool as an unlockable, or just on there. But like God of War 2, my thing here,
I don't think you could pay me enough to do the side shit.
it just comes with a bonus DVD. Like, that's crazy.
Well, that's
Oh, wow,
that's
that's
how
wild.
that's how big this sequel was when it was announced. Like it was on. I remember it being huge.
Yeah.
You get to fight a lot more mythological characters in this one too, like Theseus. You do Hercules in 3, right?
Voiced by Kevin Sorbo.
Is it really?
Yeah.
No shit.
Before he was known to be a raging idiot.
Well,
Yeah, Kevin Sorbo has not aged well. But
I think also I think like the whole entire thing is it's generally just supposed to be. I don't think like this is actual geography. I think this is kind of like I think conceptually it's a little more ethereal. Like you're not supposed to think too hard about where he is in an actual universe where all these things exist. Like
you're saying
they could
Olympus isn't real?
Well, there's realms in the game.
it's in
So
the bills.
if he's on Yggdrasil and he's going to all of these planes of existence, then you can then argue that would the area of like Greece? Would you argue that that's Nibelheim? Would you or
It's weird when you want to try and have all mythologies work together.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, I don't think you're supposed to think that hard about it. And I also think that, like, you could consider each of these their own kind of realms.
Are you? Oh, let me turn you back up now that your Big Mac's done, Nate.
Oh, yay!
Nate's back.
I'm back. Big Mac's gone.
And before we jump back into God of War, do you live in the Milwaukee area? Are you going to come to Midwest Gaming Classic? Because if you are, come say hi to our booth. We're going to be running a stage there. We're going to have amazing guests such as Metal Jesus Rocks, John Riggs, Jeremy Parrish, Gaming Off the Grid. We're going to have a lot of homies there, and excited to do interviews and get drunk. And all the Mortal Kombat people are there this time.
I'm extremely excited for this one. It's been a taut 6 months.
Yeah, my
since
body
the last
has
one.
just recovered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had such a blast at the last one though. I'm looking forward to this quite a bit.
Yeah. Well,
This is going to be my first one.
Yep.
Nice.
I'm very, very excited.
Yeah. Well, you just haven't lived until you've seen Kung Lao and the Scorpions blackout drunk.
Well, I didn't even know they were going to be there until you told me last night.
Yeah.
I wasn't even that drunk. As it turns out, everyone else was.
It was really great hearing about you and Kip's adventures after like we disappeared. You're like, yeah, we were in some room and they were playing werewolves. I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Oh, I left and I was annoyed because they had such a hard time setting up the game itself, and I was just like, yeah, you know what? I gotta take a dump. I'll be back. And I just left, and I ended up wandering around and just like finding people to talk to. I was like, I can't do this. I can't.
So March 13th, 2007 for the PlayStation 2, God of War 2 arrives. We get our first proper sequel. David Jaffe became creative director, and Cody Barlog became the game director. Barlog would go on to direct 2018, and he'll be involved in Ragnarok. I don't know if he's directing again, but he left, though, right when God of War 3 started. He left, put his 2 weeks in, and he said he's tired of the way management works. And so then he just became an electrician, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, so Cody Barlog took over. And in this story, Zeus betrays Kratos and strips him of his godhood and kills him. He is saved by the Titan Gaia on the way to the underworld, who instructs him to find the Sisters of Fate, as they can allow him to travel back in time to avert his betrayal and take revenge on Zeus. And one of the things I like about this game is on your way to the Sisters of Fate, there's a lot of boss battles in this game, but you run into people that are also trying to turn back time. Besides Cher, you run into
Okay.
you run into the Barbarian King.
Okay, Brad.
You run into Perseus. You run into Icarus.
Yeah. Icarus is fun.
Icarus is always fun.
Yeah.
One of my favorite parables. And yeah, he's gone crazy and he's just trying to fly around and you just rip his wings off and you just take them.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot.
Very Kratos.
Oh, I think that's on the back cover. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. That's pretty neat.
Oh my God, yeah. That's hilarious. He's just holding on to the wings. That is so stupid. Yeah. Oh, look at those polygons. I love it.
So yeah, you go and find the Sisters of Fate. You fight Typhon, Theseus, Wild Cerberus, Barbarian King, Mole Cerberus, Euryale, Perseus, Icarus, the last Spartan, a Kraken for some reason. And it's on top of a mountain, which is really confusing why a Kraken's up there.
A little
They're
suspicious.
cephalopods. They can climb.
But still,
Sorry, I appear to be lost. Can you give me directions and then you just beat the shit out
have you
of
seen
them?
a pool around here? I'm quite dry.
Like Bugs Bunny got lost on the way to Albuquerque.
And then I fought a Kraken on a mountain. I don't understand. I don't understand. And you fight the three Sisters of Fate, and then you can go back in time to find a way. You travel the past, stop Zeus from killing your past self, and you're driving the blade of Olympus into Zeus's chest, but Athena stops you, says no, she's going to protect Olympus. Kratos breaks free and charges Zeus, but Athena again jumps in the way. She explains that Zeus was supposed to stop the cycle of sons killing fathers, which goes back to Kronos defeating Uranus.
Yeah.
But Kronos defeats Uranus, and Zeus defeats.
I hate this.
And then Zeus defeats Kronos. So Zeus is your dad. You find out in this game, and Zeus wanted to kill you to stop you from killing him and like break the cycle. And I think it's interesting that the cycle, like, well, one thing when Kratos is told like he's your father, he's like, I don't have a father, and he's like, I'm gonna kill that guy. Kratos is a one note instrument.
I don't believe you.
Just mad at your dad, bro.
Yeah.
You're just mad at your dad.
We didn't play catch once.
Yeah.
No fishing. I don't even know how cars work.
Yeah. You didn't teach me anything.
What's an oil change?
Mad at the world. I'm still a teenager.
Yeah, Kratos does have the mind of a 16-year-old.
He really does. He's just angsty all the time.
Yeah, just leaned more into heavy metal than emo music
Yeah.
for him. But
He would definitely be a new metal fan. The Korn thing is making more sense as we talk more.
Yeah, Linkin Park, though, when
Yeah.
he's feeling really down.
Oh,
you know.
yeah.
yeah, that he doesn't play it for everybody. But it's like I actually like Linkin Park's album a lot.
Hybrid Theory is pretty good.
Not the Jay-Z stuff that they did though, just the regular Linkin Park.
Meteora is okay, too.
Did they ever talk about his mom? Who's his mom?
No, it's just
Calliope. I forget. They do say who his mom is.
Cassiopeia.
Cassiopeia, maybe. I don't know.
That weird girl down in the village that fucked the goat once that nobody talks to.
Yeah, the girl who fucked the goat.
His mom is a goat fucker.
Oh, man, yeah. No, okay, so
explains
this
a lot
anger
about him.
is starting to make a little more sense. Like, yeah, I got made fun of a lot when I was younger.
Zeus
My
is your
mom's the one
Zeus
that,
is your dad.
The goat.
No, my father was a goat. And I'm not talking Tom Brady. Yeah, but I think it's interesting that they were Zeus, like they were trying to stop the cycle of sons killing fathers, and Kratos guaranteed it happens, and it really sets up the future with Atreus. We won't use his real name until the next episode, but Atreus and Daddy Kratos, like that's setting up a future plot for them. And yes, so Kratos snaps, says he has no father. And since Zeus gets away, Zeus just comically runs away. Kratos returns to the point when all the Titans were killed in the past and brings them to the present. And then at the very end of this game, all the Titans are climbing Olympus to kill all of the gods.
Great ending to a video game.
Very strong ending.
Yes.
And if you want to get me pumped for, God of War 3, you leave it at, we're going to kill every god in Greek mythology.
Yeah, that's some hype shit right there.
And it's a good premise. It's like kill the Justice League. Like they all have like crazy different powers. Just thinking about how you're going to fight Hermes. Poseidon does go down like a little bitch real quick.
I mean, what an opener.
I have water.
He always gets the water hero or water whatever. Poseidon always gets the short end of the stick in Greek mythology as well. He's
Yeah.
Zeus's shitty little brother. So they portray him as all the time.
No, they portray him as very powerful. I mean, the oceans were a huge part of daily Greek life. So, I mean...
But he's not Zeus. He's kind of more reserved. He's
I mean, sky gods technically always get the best shit. But
yeah. I mean, I never related to Zeus in my days, No,
neither did I.
lightning and stuff, but I thought Poseidon was a cooler god. Like
Dionysus was cool.
Yeah. There's guy likes to party. I think I would get along with him the best, but I did look it up. Callisto was Kratos' mother, also the mother of Deimos, and when you confront her about it in the game, I think she turns into the Kraken, and you kill her. So
She is one of the Furies pretending to be his mother in a vision, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
I did it.
that's one of the PSP games. But God of War 2 has you got Icarus wings, you got a few things like that. You get another Medusa head, all that stuff. But I did want to mention the costumes because they're great. Costume number 1 is the God of War. It's a fish costume.
Beautiful.
Hydra armor, not great. Dark Odyssey, your skin's black instead of white, and it's really hard to get a job in that game.
Yeah.
I don't know if that'll stay in.
Yeah. No, you should keep that in. I think it's important that you do.
And then you also just the Athena costume. You can play as Athena or Hercules. You can play as Hercules, General Kratos, and then the God armor. But God of War is the hero there. And more Challenge of the Titans, Arena of the Fates. Next game that came out was God of War Betrayal. for mobile phones, June 20th, 2007.
Jesus,
Oh
it
my
was
God,
like
what was a
Nokia's.
mobile phone like?
This was
A
before
mobile game?
This was before smartphones.
Mine flipped. I missed that phone.
Yeah.
Everyone loved their Razor, man.
I had
it was
a
the
Razor.
hottest shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I had the Motorola, whatever, the indestructible one. Still got it. Still
Oh,
works.
nice.
This game is canon still. It's still considered canon. The gods send assassins to undermine Kratos' reputation after God of War 1. And you kill Hermes' son, Syrinx, is the big bad in the game. The end.
Sure.
And that's all it really
So they're
happened.
just trying to undermine his reputation.
Yep, like he's the god of War. Like, we don't want people to like him. It's like, do you even care? You're a bunch of gods. I don't know why you're concerned.
That's some
but-
high school drama stuff.
Yeah.
Well, it goes back to their whole concept, right? Like,
What do you mean he's
truly-
quarterback?
Yeah, right? Like, oh, I think it goes back to their whole concept that they led up to, like, oh, if people believe in him, he gets more powerful.
Yeah. Mortals can't be gods. Yeah. God of War, Chains of Olympus came out for the PlayStation Portable March 4th, 2008. Developed by Ready at Dawn. Seventh best-selling PlayStation Portable game of all time, the PSP. This story is a prequel to God of War 1. Kratos is guided by Athena to find the missing sun god Helios, as the dream god Morpheus has caused many of the gods to sleep because it's nighttime without Helios around. Morpheus and the queen of the underworld, Persephone, intend to destroy the pillar of the world and Olympus because reasons, probably petty drama shit again. I don't know. Some of my favorite gods are Morpheus, so I've read all of those, the graphic novel Sandman, so we'll get Morpheus to do it.
Lawrence Fishburne just has a red telephone in his den whenever they need a Morpheus. Like, yes, I'm here.
We need a Morpheus. Oh, yeah. I'm in. Sign me up. Give me that paycheck.
Yeah, by all accounts, this is another hack and slash with some QTEs. There is sex scenes, as Dylan and I watched earlier. As far as PSP games with nudity and sex mini games, this is probably the top.
Okay.
I think we can comfortably say that. If you know of anything else, fans, send in to hairthedogcast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear, or tweet at us, of course. Endgame bonus costumes for this, though. You can be the Spud of War, which you're a potato. And it says the costume has appeal, which I appreciate that.
Puns.
Pretty good.
Oh, God.
Mick Kratos, which surprisingly isn't a clown costume, but you have red hair and a kilt.
Mick Kratos.
Mick Kratos. And then there's also the Mime of War, and you are a mime. Who saw that coming? God of War 3 released March 16th, 2010. These all, if you'll notice, all come around the Ides of March on purpose. But March 16, 2010, 3 years after God of War 2, this was the first one on the PlayStation 3, directed by Stig Asmussen, as Cody Barlog departed 8 months into development. At the time, he said to level up, he was afraid of becoming the God of War guy for the rest of his career. He says his franchise is successful for Sony, and I think it's awesome. He was a big part of making that success, blah, blah, blah. But he's like, I don't want to make God of War 4 and God of War 5 and God of War the expansion pack and God of War the role-playing kart racing game. Which doesn't sound bad.
Yeah, I'd play it.
All the Greek gods, different power-ups.
Pick your cart.
Yeah.
I think he fucked up.
I don't think he did. I think he's doing just fine.
Yeah.
I
if
like
you
the
need
idea.
if you need to take a break from something, I mean, he saw the series was getting stale, and you don't want to get like pigeonholed. It's like, we need you here. You're going to get paid here for the rest of your life. He saw an opportunity when they had different ideas to come back, and he did it then. So I think
You said he directed 2018.
Yeah.
And he's like not the director of Ragnarok, though.
he's still involved. I don't know if he's a director or not. This is a very interesting time for video games, though. A playable demo of God of War 3 was included on the Blu-ray disc for District 9. You could pop in a District 9 Blu-ray disc and play a demo of God of War on it.
Jesus Christ.
Doesn't that blow your mind?
A little.
How did that even happen?
I-
That's such a random movie to just be like, yo.
But that's a DVD.
It's a Blu-ray because it's a Blu-ray player on the PS3. Yeah,
Right, okay.
So it was on like as a special
I
feature on the
own,
Blu-ray. That's
the
nuts.
Blu-ray of District 9. We could literally test this out.
I wonder if we could put it in the PlayStation 5 and do that. Yeah,
I wonder.
Or you could put it in your PS4.
Oh,
Or my PS4.
Your PS4. I mean, I'd have to hook it up. It's just been sitting on my shelf. But
And there were also NASCAR vehicles with Kratos' image on it at the time.
Okay.
Yeah, because God of War wants to really get the NASCAR fans. I guess
That kind of fits. Like
Yeah.
if you like to drink beer and
They have the
watch
same
NASCAR,
sophistication.
you kind of want the you kinda
Klondike,
live the
is
life
he
of
a-
a Chad.
Klondike. It's the only chewing tobacco that Kratos would eat.
you tell me that you can fuck a goat in this game?
Oh, you're gonna love this game. You just move the sticks around, you rub it in their nipples. It's great.
It's awesome. You know, you really get up in there. You don't see nothing, but I'll tell you what, it's pretty hot.
It ain't bad. It leaves a lot to the imagination.
So they call that the theater of imagination, though I've never been to theater.
I pulled that bitch's head off and turned them all stone.
I killed my dad, who's also my brother. God of War 3 is a direct sequel to God of War 2, taking place immediately as you're ascending the mountain. Kratos kills Poseidon. Kratos kills Hades. Kratos kills Perseus, Helios, Hermes, Hercules. You kill Hephaestus. You kill Kronos. And as you're doing this, like, you kill Hera, which kills all Greek plant life. You kill Helios, which bathes the world in darkness. Mm-hmm. You kill Poseidon, flooding Olympus. You kill Hermes. For some reason, I think that spreads a disease. But you kill Zeus. Essentially, you just kill everybody in this game.
This is the one where you really just go on God slaughtering.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I liked. I was actually like, that's the shit I wanted. From the first two.
It was the most satisfying for sure.
Yeah.
Like you're just going nuts. And I'm pretty sure you rip off. Is this the one where you rip off Helios's head and it like lights up? It's like a cool
He's a
lantern.
lamp.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like the meaning right there.
Top 5 heads you carry around in the God of War series. Helios is probably number 2. I don't know. That's a tricky one, but Mimir and Medusa are both really good. And you carry around Medusa's sister in the second game, I believe. I forget. But yes, we mentioned David Jaffe's cut plot of Christianity being the ending, which I would have liked to have seen. I really, like, if they went there, that would have been so funny to me. Imagine them trying to come back in 2018. It would have had to have been Jesus then.
They have to have storyboards or something around. That would be great to see.
Yeah.
You get the rights. Be like, we're gonna put this on a tangent on its own thing. We're taking Christianity, all right? You guys can do Egyptian and Asian mythologies. We're taking Christianity.
Yeah.
I think they knew that it would be unsellable at that point, though.
Well, and I
sure.
I do appreciate though that Jaffe realized, all right, we're running out of Greek gods to kill. Maybe we just bring in Egyptian and Norse gods into this game. They didn't, but you can see them like, we have to do something.
Yeah.
And I guess, they're like, we're just going to scorch the earth so we can't do anything else. Greek mythology's over, even though they made 2 more games after this about Greek mythology. You kill Leviathan, Poseidon, Hades, Hermes, Hercules, Kronos, Scorpion, Zeus, and all the other ones I mentioned before. Your main weapon is the Blades of Exile. You also have the Claws of Hades, Nemean Cestus, and the Nemesis Whip. It's a lot of the same stuff. You guys have played God of War. It's the same game. It's just more QTEs,
you're
better
actually
boob
killing
physics, and cooler deaths.
Yeah, you're just killing the gods at this point. Like you're sealing it up. You know, you're taking care of it.
I remember the opening level of this one where you're climbing up and they just keep descending down like they're in full-on panic mode. Like, oh shit, no, he's here. Like, do you see that?
Yeah.
Chad's a coming.
Like,
He has an army of titans.
yeah, he's kind of like here. He's kind of a big deal now.
Yeah. He ain't no joke. Remember when we were laughing at him? He's pissed.
He ripped poor Icarus's wings off last time. He's still not over that.
He's still carrying somebody's head around. What the shit?
Yes, that is Helios's head. I can see it from here.
It's like a beacon. You know, you can just see it from everywhere.
Does he have Poseidon's teeth? Like, why did he take those?
Yeah. It would be funny if he was just taking trophies from like all the gods and putting them together.
What if he just had a belt of heads by the end?
Shitty menagerie of just dead items.
There's not much I like in Your Highness, but I do like when they take like the Minotaur's penis.
The Minotaur dick?
The Minotaur dick as a trophy. That was funny.
That was very good. I really liked that movie for not because it was good, but it had a couple like great scenes and zingers that just got me going.
That Natalie Portman butt shot.
Which isn't Natalie Portman's butt.
Yeah.
I'll take Natalie Portman butt anytime.
But it wasn't Natalie
wasn't.
Portman's butt. It was a stunt butt.
Yeah, it was a stand-in butt.
Not to me, it wasn't.
It was a guy.
Still fine with it.
It was a great butt, though, regardless.
Yeah.
Fun fact, it was actually Tom Hanks' butt.
Nice.
That makes so much more sense. Why I was into it.
Athena is begging Kratos to return the power of hope to Pandora's box. Of course, Kratos refuses and seemingly kills himself by driving a sword through him to give the power of hope to mankind, because that's who Kratos is at the end of this game. He has the craziest heel turn. He's like, no, I'm giving the power of hope to all of humanity.
Hope through what, seppuku?
He can't even kill himself, though. He's killed literally everybody, but he can't kill himself. In an ultimate twist of irony, he collapses on a mural of the Phoenix, and in a post-credit scene, a trail of blood leads away from Olympus. And we know what comes next, but yeah. Then they got to this point where they made God of War 3, and they're like, we want more God of War games, but we are creatively bereft. We have no idea what to do anymore. We are going to make prequels and interquels, but we will not move the series forward in any meaningful way.
Yeah, that's the telltale sign of stagnation right there, for sure.
Yeah. God of War Ghosts of Sparta comes out November 2nd, 2010 for the PSP. It's a prequel to God of War 2. Kratos is haunted and wants to explore his origins, so he goes to find his mother Callisto, who claims his brother Deimos is still alive. Deimos was born with a scar, very similar to Kratos' eye, and Zeus was told he would be killed by his son with a scar, or like with a marking on his face. So Ares takes Deimos, and Kratos then tattoos a similar mark on his eye that his brother had. So it turns out Kratos was the marked son, but it was a mark he gave himself in honor of his brother, who was taken away. So that's why Kratos.
That's cool, though.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason his skin is all ashy, and there's a reason that he has the tattoo.
Yeah, because he doesn't moisturize.
He does not. He does not moisturize. His skin is uncomfortably crackly.
Literally
Only
only
with
moisturizes
blood.
in the blood of the gods.
Yeah,
That's a little cooler than normal Chad Kratos, I guess. Like,
yeah.
let's put some thought into it. Give him that.
I mean, they had to reach for some straws, I guess, if you had to if you really had to scrape the bottom of that barrel.
Yeah.
We need something new. Let's have an origin story about his tattoo.
Yeah, right? Not the tribal ones, though. No.
No, those are just cool. He joined a tribe.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he goes to Atlantis, finds his mother Callisto. The Kratos then journeys to save his brother from Thanatos, my boyfriend from the game Hades. Yeah, we learned a lot about this. You actually find Deimos at Suicide Bluffs because Thanatos sends Deimos to kill himself. I guess you can do that. Kratos saves him, and then Deimos is super pissed at Kratos for leaving him in prison, so they fight. And I believe he just looks like Kratos, but with hair. I think it's.
That makes sense.
I gotta look this up.
I gotta look this
do
up.
some research here.
So I don't know if it qualifies as suicide if you force somebody to do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I dare you to jump.
It's still suicide. Yeah, it's still suicide.
But under duress.
It's coerced, though. I mean, you'd be guilty of something in a court of law.
Well, they have that HBO documentary. It's 3 parts, and it's
About the girl who made the boy kill
sit
himself.
in the vehicle. It's
Yeah.
called, and I'm not kidding. I love you, now die.
Yeah, I've actually seen that one.
Yeah.
Like
I
a
watched
shitty 2007 horror film.
Yeah,
Yeah. I don't want to delve into that, but
It's
I'm probably
psychotic.
going
It's
to.
awesome.
Have you guys watched, what's the one, Abducted in Plain Sight?
oh yeah, that was fucking crazy.
Yeah. I was like, they can't be this dumb.
And in a sad turn of events, this is the first God of War game, I believe, that has a pre-order bonus. They're starting to want that money. You can get the Legionnaire costume if you pre-order this game.
Oh, perfect.
So make sure to get it day one for full price.
Yeah, and he does. I got the photo.
Yeah,
Deimos
Deimos.
does look like Kratos with hair.
Oh my God.
Wow.
He looks
Yeah.
more Chad, though.
Okay, we can
He's
make
Giga Chad.
we can do any design for what his brother looks like. Let's do something bold. Give him hair.
But he has the ashy skin, too.
Oh yeah.
But
He didn't kill his family.
No, he didn't. They're like, well, they didn't know what they were doing. Yeah.
did he, though?
I mean, it's a PSP game. It can be all. It can all be forgiven.
Well, no, he's not as ashy. He's got a little more skin tone.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give
Yeah.
it that.
That was an ashy photo.
It was an ashy
He
photo.
clearly moisturizes.
Yeah. But he does look like Giga Chad.
Yeah.
Giga Chad.
Yeah, you kill Thanatos in that game, which I think is cool. The god of death is another one of the cooler gods in the Greek pantheon. They still don't know what to do with Kratos at this point. I guess we'll make a prequel. God of War Ascension comes out March 12th, 2013 for the PlayStation 3. Prequel to the entire series. This is before all of them. And if you wanted to try the demo, all you had to do is buy a Total Recall Blu-ray disc, and you could play the demo on your PlayStation 3.
The Colin Farrell Total Recall?
Yes. Not the good one.
Yeah.
I didn't mind it.
That's fine. In this story, this is when Kratos renounces Ares after he kills his family. He's like, I don't like you anymore.
Oh, so
So he's being punished by the Furies. He breaks free and discovers the prison is the Aegean, the Hecaton Kyries, who is a giant that they made be they turned into a prison. So you're inside a giant, I guess.
It's pretty cool.
It's not like the Magic School Bus though. It doesn't look like a giant on the inside. I mean,
I never played.
this is like sphincter.
Yeah, right? Like, how do you get out?
It's
I think you
huge.
know. There's one way in and everybody leaves the same way.
you got to tickle the prostate.
I'm surprised Magic School Bus hasn't been made into a movie.
Didn't they try and...
They wanted Kate McKinnon to be Miss Frizzle. Yeah.
I could see that.
That
The
was
girl from
speculation.
SNL?
I could also see Kristen Wiig. I could see anyone.
I don't think that's marketable. They tried that Dora the Explorer live action movie
Oh
recently.
yeah, they really did. Who's your audience there?
I don't
5-year-olds that are now 12.
Pretty niche.
I mean, it's all just pedo bait at that point. It's like
It really is.
it's pedo bait. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
all that kind of shit is.
I mean, if you want to get someone in a movie, put a goat in there.
well, because then they cast like Dora the Explorer as like a beautiful young woman, and it's just like that is fucked, man.
And
Like,
she's learning
There's
shapes.
a lot of implications.
She's still learning shapes, though. She has the mind of a child.
She talks.
Swipe or no swiping.
Oh boy,
yeah.
she can't even sign up for Tinder yet.
Yeah.
Get it?
Can't even sign up. Ooh, I got a match. I think
Get
she's
it?
5.
Fuck.
And while she teaches me basic Spanish, I'm just on the date. I'm just like, what the fuck?
Dylan A. Grande.
Tinder bio just says, it's just the I Got a Map song.
Oh god.
Singer, songwriter, explorer.
Shape enthusiast.
My backpack talks.
So, what do you like to do for
Something
fun?
weird. Something weird about me. My backpack can talk.
Oh, I like movies too.
My mortal enemy is a
great.
fox.
Yeah.
Imagine being on a date and this fucking swiper just shows up and ruins it.
Fuck.
Takes your breadsticks. Motherfucker.
Swipe.
Kratos kills the 3 Furies, Meg, Tisiphone, and Alecto. And then you are being helped by Orcos, the son of Ares. Kratos reunites with him at the end after killing everybody, who explains how Kratos must kill Orcos to free both of them from Ares's power or something. So you have to kill the dude who's helping you. The bosses, you fight a Manticore, Daemon, Pollux, and Castor. I mean, they must be getting desperate if I don't know who any of these names are.
These are all the lower
Yeah.
sub children of incest and stuff, and the younger version.
This one has been incested 4 times. He's the Greek god of squares.
Yeah, he loves them.
I like squares.
I forget which game it's in. Pollux and Castor, it might be them, where it's conjoined twins. One of them is this super pervy dude, and then his little tiny twin lives on his stomach, and he's the little tiny twin talks shit at you, and Kratos rips him off, and then the dude's crawling away. He's like, I wasn't involved. This isn't my fault. And Kratos curb stomps the little guy.
Yes. I mean, that's what you want in those games, right?
That's
perfect.
Now let's make him a dad. He curb stomps conjoined twins. He's going to be the father figure. Mm-hmm. It's like Gary Busey in Rookie of the Year. It's like you have Gary Busey as the father.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Also, God of War Ascension. Finally, we have multiplayer in a God of War game. What everybody wants.
That's exactly what I wanted. That's what all of them were missing.
I put down fight each other or fight together. Honestly, I don't care. I think that's about all that's going on there.
Accurate.
Yeah.
PvP doesn't belong everywhere. Fact.
Yeah, I think the gaming industry is still learning that lesson, considering what What did they just learn from it's like a newer game that's hyper successful, and they were kind of surprised because they didn't include any like multiplayer in it.
Are you talking about the new Dora the Explorer game?
Metroid Dread, like.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Elden Ring.
Well, I mean,
I thought you were making an illusion. I'll say Elden Ring. I know we've been very good this episode and not talked about Elden Ring.
Well, I mean, I could talk about it for days.
We have at least 20 episodes coming over the next year.
Yeah, we'll be talking about Elden Ring. No, but they keep learning from this mistake. Like, a lot of people buy these games just to play these single player campaigns, and it doesn't need to be super long. It doesn't have to be hyper involved. Like, it's all about retaining your audience, and I think probably God of War is a good example of these games are going to sell like fucking crazy, no matter what you do with them. So why did you need to add this thing? I know live service games are huge, and
they have
going forward. They
have a place too. Like they can be what they are. They're fine.
Yeah, let those losers deal with it though. Like, I don't like live service games for the most part.
Like when the main menu has a press triangle for DLC or like download more costumes. Yeah. I don't want any of that nasty shit on my UI anywhere. Even like Dragon Age, when there's a character, it's like, to go here, you must give me $5.
Yep.
It's like you have characters speaking out of like universe.
Yeah. I like Forza Horizon 5, which I really love. I love the racing. I love all of this stuff. But when you go into the menu, there's so much shit to look at. And you're just like, then you got to do this to get the rewards for this. And this is how you get these rewards. And I'm like, I cannot. And then you can buy this and you can do that. And I'm like, stop it. I bought a video game. You got to clean it up a little bit. And that's why I like single player games for the most part. I don't play Elden Ring PvP. I don't have to.
It's still confusing to me.
It's very confusing as well.
Yeah.
And I think they make it that way on purpose. But
also just make a party and let Tyler just jump in my game.
Yeah. That would be totally fine.
Passwords and summoning fingers and maybe it'll work.
Maybe it won't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yes, God of War Ascension did not do well.
Did not.
Nothing new or exciting other than a half-baked multiplayer system. Buy our DLC, keep buying Kratos. And for a while, Sony was afraid to touch God of War. They're like, we don't know what to do with this. I do want to look one thing up. As far as Kratos appearing in other games, like outside of God of War, I know he was a Mortal Kombat character.
PlayStation All-Stars.
Yeah. It's kind of like, well, we've been beating this dead horse for a while. Should we stop or do we keep going? It's like, well, it's already dead, so we might as well just keep hitting it, right? Like,
Yeah, and it's really hard to like keep it going when you go all Deadpool kills the universe and pretty much kill every living creature that exists in your realm. Like, where do you go? Let's put him in a fucking Mortal Kombat. It's actually a perfect place for him.
It is.
So Kratos was featured in Hot Shots Golf Out of Bounds.
Get out of town. Are you serious?
Complete with the Club of Chaos.
Next game.
What? I didn't know that. Little Big Planet.
Yeah, I know that one.
Soul Calibur Broken Destiny.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that.
Mod Nation Racers.
Mod Nation Racers, yeah, that's a good card game.
And the PlayStation 3 and PS Vita versions of Mortal Kombat. And also PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale. Yeah.
Most of them make sense.
Mortal Kombat makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, Soul Calibur too, kind of.
Yeah. It was one of those weird situations, though, where the same game's on multiple consoles. It's like, are you going to get Yoda? Are you going to get Darth Vader? Or are you going to get Heihachi? I don't want Heihachi.
No one would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird, different characters for the same game. So you'll never have those characters be able to fight each other in like a tournament scenario. Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
No, he is. Check it. He is. Birdie. He looks so tiny.
Yeah, they made him.
Well, they had that. I mean, Hot Shots Golf has that specific art style.
I love Hot Shots Golf, and
Hot
I
Shots
had
Golf is
no
very
idea
good.
that he was in it.
Did you ever play Everybody's Golf for the PS4? It's a sequel.
Oh, really?
Play it. It's good.
So from the Discord, Stoy says, Ghost of Sparta gave some pretty good context to why he murdered the hell out of his family. Ascension did not need to be made. Josh says, God of War 3 is one of my all-time favorites. That is all.
Wow, okay.
Ryan says, Chains of Olympus was great on the PSP. Never finished this Ascension, but it did have a semi-fun multiplayer that was completely unnecessary. The original trilogy mastered the opening act with the Hydra battle in 1, the Colossus battle in 2, and the Olympus assault in 3. The weapons you were able to acquire were all cool, but it was always about the Blades of Chaos / Athena in these games. I would agree.
Yeah.
As far as looking back, we're going to talk about God of War 2018, and that's going to be a Patreon exclusive episode. So if you want access to that, go to patreon.com/hairofthedogcast. It'll be available right away. Otherwise, wait a long time, and we'll be too drunk to record an episode in 8 months, and I might release it then. Possibly.
Hell yeah.
But as far as the God of War series up to this point, the original series, to me, this is the frosted tips you regret having. Looking back, there's a lot of good memories in high school, but I don't want to see pictures of it a lot of times. I don't know. Kratos, these games are still iconic and memorable for the era they're from, but good Lord, like those sex mini games and the Kratos blind rage seemed a lot cooler at the time than it does now. At least that's kind of where I'm sitting. I still love the Greek mythology. I still love the thought of just rage killing all the gods of a mythology.
I think games grew up, and I think that people expect more of it from an art form. But back then, it was still trying to appeal to a lowest common denominator type of situation. I think that you can still appeal to those people while being emotionally complex and a little more straightforward, which I think probably 2018 achieves. So I don't know. Just in the same way that, I mean, this is the high school of video games. This is like when you get to make all these dumb mistakes, and no one can blame you because you're a swirling pot of hormones and awfulness, and you always make mistakes. So it's like, yeah, I mean, like I kind of see it as like a little brother I've never had. It's just like, oh, look, that's fucking dumb.
Listen to your father. I don't have a dad. Fuck you.
But that's a goat.
It is. It very much is a high school of games.
It's just single linear one note, but it was also the early ages of video games. Like it did grow up, it did evolve. Like
well,
I think they accomplished what they're going for.
I think one of the things that people forget though is how this came out towards the end of the PlayStation 2's lifespan as well. But then the sequel coming out 2 years later in 2007.
Yeah.
On that same inferior system, that's fucking wild.
Yeah, I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't PlayStation 2 had staying power though?
It did. I mean, that's the reason that they kept selling it in Japan. They considered having Persona 5 be on the PlayStation 2.
And we mentioned it. They didn't stop doing repair services for the PS2 until 2018.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, people in Japan, they get one system, and
which is pretty wild.
Yeah.
Thoughts on the God of War series before it matured into masterpieces?
My favorite part about it was always the set pieces. I think that I wasn't really down with the linear play or the hack and slash, but the grand scale of things always kept me wanting to get to the next part or the next boss.
The corner.
Yeah. The set pieces and the grand scale. And I mean, I loved those quick time events. It was awesome to watch him just brutalize something, and then I was really good at pressing those buttons. So
that is the eternal question. Would you rather see something cool, mildly interact with something cool, or have it be all gameplay? And
bop it, twist it, pull it,
rip its fucking eye out. Square.
Done. Yeah. It's a series, and looking back on it, like it did what it wanted to do, I think. It fully accomplished and established the franchise for God of War.
And yeah, like we mentioned in the PS2 episode, Kratos is probably I would say the mascot for the PlayStation 2.
At this point, yeah.
Yeah. Hair of the Dogcast exists because of people like you. Thanks for listening. If you have any questions or thoughts about Greek mythology, goats, or anything at all, you can reach out to us on Instagram at Hair of the Dogcast, or on Twitter at HotDogcast. If you know Tom Hanks personally, reach out to us. We need to talk to him about something.
Yes.
And you can also email us at hairthedogcast@gmail.com. Thanks to executive producers Ryan Christianick, Tyler Keller, Kip, the killer Jormungandr slaying demigod, Brian Ward, and Katie Bone. We're part of the HyperX Podcast Network. For more information, check out podcast.hyperx.com. If you want to join us for God of War 2018, you can join us at the $3 tier on Patreon. It's cheap as fuck. It's not. You get a lot of content, and you're going to be getting a lot of Elden Dogs soon. So check that out.
Elden Dogs.
And for next week's Hair of the Dogcast, we will be discussing the news, including Hogwarts Legacy State of Play. We're going to be talking about Halo Infinite's dwindling user base. I want to talk a little bit about Stone Brewing's recent lawsuit. It has some developments with Keystone. We'll talk about that, and then as well as the Punch-Out series, where we'll be joined by Jamie Bone to discuss Canadian boxers and maple syrup.
And mispronouncing Mario.
Yeah. So that's all I got for this episode.
Absolutely. Bye, guys.
Adios.
Love ya, fuckers.